Hey guys, Jason here. This is my review of She-Hulk Attorney at Law episode 2. I quite enjoyed this week's episode. I didn't enjoy it as much as last week's episode, and I think what really worked in that episode's favor was the banter between Hulk and She-Hulk. And this week, it's about as exposition heavy as last week's, but you don't really have the dynamic between the two Hulks this time. Bruce kind of takes a back seat, and we'll get more into that later. Before I go any further, though, if you haven't watched this week's episode of She-Hulk, go check it out, because I'm going to be talking some spoilers. So if you don't want anything really ruined for you, just head for the exit right now, and then once you've checked that episode out, come on back, and we'll talk about it. But those of you who are still here, let's get going. So off the heels of last week's episode, Jen got fired for saving the jury from Titania, who was trying to who's labeled as a superpowered influencer, just trying to escape from traffic court. And she's finding that her Hulk self becomes more of a liability than an asset. The DA fires her, and no one else is willing to hire her on because they feel like that would just be too much of a circus sideshow. And, it would draw too much attention away from them as a law firm. So she's going through a bit of a hard time looking for some work. And at dinner with her family, we kind of see the eccentricities that go with family life, and especially family that has two superpowered Hulks as part of the family. And there was some fun stuff there. It just kind of reminded me of what a typical family dinner would be like, especially if you're kind of out on your own doing your own thing and you haven't seen people for a while, and it's always that awkward. So what are you doing? Or oh, you lost that job. I thought that really captured the essence of that sort of interaction quite well. Then she gets approached by GLK&H, the law firm that went for a mistrial because she saved the jury. They're trying to open their own superpowered law division. The only hitch is she has to be She-Hulk in order to, work this job. And also her first client is Emil Blonsky, a.k.a. the Abomination. Now, it's obviously a huge conflict of interest because, one of his victims is, of course, her cousin Bruce. So she wasn't going to want to take on the case if Bruce wasn't okay with it. Of course, Emil Blonsky is not in his Abomination form, and he's trying to be released from prison under the pretenses that he has reformed. He's trying to do better. He's going to live on a piece of property bought by his 7 soulmates through the prison pen pal program. And he's really working to try to find his own inner peace. He chooses not to become the Abomination, because he doesn't want to. He's gone back to being just plain old Emil Blonsky, and it isn't until he reveals that the U.S. government pumped him with super soldier serum that affected his actions that Jen realizes she might actually have a case for his parole. And in a phone conversation with Bruce, she kind of tries to find permission to take on the job, really just to tell him she's taking on the job. He's okay with it. In fact, according to him, in his words, that was such a long time ago. They kind of made amends. That was such a long time ago. And I'm actually a different person than I was then, literally, which kind of was like a wink to the camera. I thought that was fun because really ever since The Incredible Hulk, when they recast Edward Norton with Mark Ruffalo, they never really addressed it. They addressed it with Don Cheadle as Rhodey, but they never addressed, the Ruffalo Norton transition. In fact, in an episode of What If, they go back to the events of the Incredible Hulk and recast Edward Norton as Mark Ruffalo in that movie. And I thought that was an interesting, but they haven't really winked at it, nodded to it, nothing until now. And I thought that was fun that they finally addressed that. But so she, he's okay with it. So she's going to do it. Is Bruce coming to LA anytime soon? Probably not, because he's taken that Sakaran courier ship that caused the accident to turn that turned Jen into She-Hulk, and he's heading off to space, probably to tie up a few loose ends that he probably didn't know existed, because he was the Hulk for 2 years and lost that time. He has no memory of that, so he's trying to figure out what happened. So she tells her new boss that she's taken on the job, and he tells her to check out the news, which shows leaked footage of the Abomination having appeared to escape from prison in a underground street brawl, the same underground street brawl we saw in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So apparently he wasn't, free to come and go as he pleased. And Wong's got some explaining to do. But that's for some future episodes. I really did enjoy this episode. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. The first one, again, the dynamic between the two Hulks is always fun, and it was a lot of fun, and it was really funny, and I had a great time. This episode had some good comedic moments and some great beats and some interesting Easter eggs. They finally, in a blink and you'll miss, couple of blink and you'll miss it moments, they finally addressed the giant celestial shaped statue in the ocean, and also there's apparently a mutant with metal claws fighting in some bars. So that might mean that a certain X-Man is actually already around in the MCU. Who knows? I really do like the post-credit scene in this episode. I like how I like the way they're using the post-credit scenes in the show. And giving each episode one, unlike, previous shows where they waited till like the second to last episode or the last episode to put a post-credit scene in, and really mostly just use it to tease whatever the next project is or wherever those characters are going. With the exception of Hawkeye. Hawkeye used it, of course, for a nice little comedic beat, and I thought that was fun. And I do like that they're using it for comedy in this show as well. It definitely works for the sitcom format. But yeah, this is starting to really shape up to become probably my favorite Marvel Studios series on Disney Plus. I'm going to give this episode a 4 out of 5. Again, I really enjoyed it, but not quite as much as I enjoyed the previous episode. But let me know what you thought of this week's episode down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the show in general so far. And I always look forward to hearing from you guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell to get updates on all my future videos. Thank you so much for watching, as always. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.